Hi everyone, Mrs. Friebolin back again with some more Mr. Lemoncello's library. So when we left, Mr. Lemoncello was arriving at the school to announce who was going to be locked into the library and a chance to win all those great, fabulous prizes. Chapter 8. Over on the side of the stage, a shoe that looked like a peeled open banana appeared from behind a curtain. When it landed, the shoe burp squeaked. As a second banana shoe burp squeaked onto the floor, Kyle looked up, and there he was, Mr. Lemoncello. He had loose and floppy limbs and was dressed in a three-piece black suit with a bright red tie. His black, broad-rimmed hat was crooked at an angle on the top of his curly white hair. Kyle was so close he could see a sly twinkle sparkling in Mr. Lemoncello's eyes. Treading very carefully, Mr. Lemoncello walked toward the podium. The burp squeak of his shoes seemed to change pitch, depending on how hard he landed on his heels. He added a couple of little jig steps, and a quick hop, and a strutter step, and yes, his shoes squeaked out a song. Pop goes the weasel. On the pop, Mr. Lemoncello popped behind the podium. The crowd went wild. Mr. Lemoncello politely bowed and said very softly, thank you, grazie, grazie. He bent forward so his mouth was maybe an inch away from the microphone. Buongiorno, boys and girls. He spoke very timidly and very slowly. This is how my mama and my papa teach me to speak da English. He wiggled his ears and straightened his back. But then, he said in a crisp, clear voice, I went to the Alexandriville Public Library, where the wonderful librarian named Mrs. Gail Tobin helped me learn how to speak like this. If two witches were watching two watches, which witch would watch which watch? I can also speak while being upside down or in underwater. But not today, because I just had my suit dry cleaned, and I would not want to get it wet. Mr. Lemoncello bounced across the stage like a happy grasshopper. Ooh, what kind of figurative language is that, guys? But then, children, if I may call you that, which I must, because I have not yet memorized all your names, even though I am working on it. What do you think is the most amazing, incredible thing you'll find inside your wondrous new library, besides, of course, all the knowledge you need to do anything and everything you'll want to do? No one said anything. They were too mesmerized by Mr. Lemoncello. Could it be A, robots silently whizzing their way through the library, restocking the shelves? B, the electronic learning center with 36 plasma screen TVs, all connected to flight simulators and educational video games? Or C, the Wonder Dome, lined with 10 giant video screens. It can make the whole building feel like a rocket ship blasting off into outer space. The game room, someone shouted. The robots, the video games. Mr. Lemoncello raced back to the podium and made a buzzing noise in the microphone. Bzz, sorry, the correct answer is, and not just because of Winn-Dixie, D, all of the above. The crowd went wild again. Mr. Lemoncello whirled around to face his head librarian. Dr. Zinchenko, will you kindly help me pass out our first 12 library cards? It was time to announce the essay contest winners. Dr. Zinchenko placed a stack of 12 shiny cards on the podium right in front of Mr. Lemoncello. Please, as I call your name, join me on stage. Miguel Fernandez. Yes! Miguel jumped up out of his seat. Akimi Hughes. Woo! Kyle was thrilled to see his two best friends be the first ones on stage. Andrew Peckelman, Bridget Wade, Sierra Russells, Yasmin Snyder. Yasmin squealed when her name was called. Sean Keegan, Haley Daly, Rose Vermente, and Kyla Corson. 10 kids, all the same age as Kyle, went up on stage with his idol, Mr. Lemoncello. He was not there. There's 2 more chances. As if reading his mind, Mr. Lemoncello said, only 2 more. He tapped the pair of library cards on the podium. Charles Chillington. Oh gosh, really? He dashed up to the podium and started pumping Mr. Lemoncello's hand. Thank you, sir, so much. This is such an honor. Truly, I mean it. Thank you, Charles. May I have my hand back? I need it to flip over this final card. Of course, sir, but I cannot wait to spend the night in your library, or, as I like to call it, your anthenarium. Because, as I said in my essay, when you open a book, you open your mind. Finally, Charles, the brown-noser, let go of Mr. Lemoncello's hand and went over to line up with the other winners. And last, but not least, said Mr. Lemoncello, Kyle Keeley! Kyle could not believe his ears. He thought he was dreaming. But then Akimi started waving for him to get up. Dazed, Kyle made his way up to the stage. Mr. Lemoncello handed Kyle a library card. His name and the number 12 was printed on it. There were also 2 book covers. I Love You, Stinky Face, and The Napping House were on the back of his card. Let's all pose for a picture, said the principal. When everybody moved into position for the photographer, Kyle found himself standing right next to Mr. Lemoncello. He swallowed hard. I'm a big fan, sir, he said. His voice was kind of shaky. Why, thank you. And remind me again, who are you? I'm Kyle. Kyle Keeley. Oh, yes. The boy who proved what I've always known to be true. A game is never over till it's over. Chapter 9. Kyle couldn't wait to tell his family the good news. I won the essay contest! He showed them his new library card. Congratulations, said his mom. Way to go, said his dad. His brothers, Curtis and Mike, were more interested in Kyle's other card, the $500 Lemoncello gift card. It's good for 12 months, said Kyle. But you need to use it now, said Mike. We need to go to the store tonight so you can buy Mr. Lemoncello's kooky wacky hockey. I can't. Why not? I have to show my library card at the store to cash it in. And, I'm grounded, remember? You know, Kyle, said his dad, who was looking at his mother, since you worked extra hard and did such a great job on your essay, I think we might consider ending your punishment. Really? Said Kyle. Really? Kyle's mom and dad smiled at him. The way they smiled whenever Mike won a football game or when Curtis won the science fair. After supper, all 5 Keeleys piled into the family van and headed off to the local toy store. Lemoncello's hockey game is awesome, said Mike as they drove to the store, especially when the Penguins play against the polar bears. I'm hoping to find a classic board game, mused Curtis. Mr. Lemoncello's bewildering, baffling bibliomania. Is that about a Bible? Said their dad. Not exactly, although the Bible, especially a rare Gutenberg edition, may be one of the treasures you have to find and collect, because the object of the game is to collect rare and valuable books. The Penguin and the kooky wacky hockey aren't from Pittsburgh like in the NHL, said Mike. They're from Antarctica. And polar bears? They're from Alaska. Kyle decided to divvy up his gift card 5 ways to give everybody, including his mom and his dad, $100 to shop with. As soon as they entered the toy store, the family split up, cruising the aisles with their own shopping carts. His mom was going to upgrade to Mr. Lemoncello's restaurant rush. His dad was looking for one of Mr. Lemoncello's complicated what-if games. What if the Romans had won the American Civil War? Kyle hung with Curtis and Mike for a while. Being the one with the gift card made him feel like all of a sudden he was their big brother. Mike quickly found his PlayStation hockey game, and Curtis was in geek heaven when he finally found Bibliomania. There's only one left, he said, and started tearing off the shrink wrap and prying open the lid. He sat down right in the middle of the aisle and started unfolding the game. You see, you start in a rotunda, then you go upstairs and enter each of the 10 chambers where you have to answer questions about a book. I think I hear Mom calling me, Kyle said. She must need the gift card. Enjoy. And Kyle took off. The store is closing in 15 minutes, announced a voice from the ceiling speakers. Kyle flew up and down the aisles and grabbed a couple more board games he didn't yet own, including Mr. Lemoncello's absolutely incredible Iron Horse, the game where you build your own transcontinental railroad, complete with locomotive game pieces and actually puffy steam. As Kyle was doing some quick math to see if he spent all of his $100, Charles Chillington came down the aisle with a cart crammed full of $500 worth of loot. Games stacked on top of games were practically spilling over on their sides. Mr. Lemoncello's phenomenal picture word puzzler, one of Kyle's favorites, was on the top. "Hello, Keely," said Chillington with a smirk. He looked down at the 3 games sitting at the bottom of Kyle's shopping cart. "Are you just getting started?" Can't you just see he has a nasty attitude? "No, I shared my gift card with my family." "Well, that was a mistake," said Charles. Kyle was about to answer when Chillington said, "So long. See you Friday, loser." Since the store was about to close, Kyle headed toward the checkout lanes. When he passed the customer service department, he saw Haley Daly. "No," Kyle heard Haley say, "I do not want to return these items for store credit. I prefer the cash." Kyle finally found his family, showed the cashier his library card, and paid for everything with a single swipe of his gift card. "You know, Kyle," his dad said when the family walked across the parking lot, "your mother and I are extremely proud of you. Writing a good essay isn't easy." "Maybe you'll be an author someday," his mother said. "Then you can write books that will be on the shelves of the new library." "Thanks, little brother," said Curtis, hugging his game. "Yes," said Mike, "this was awesome. Way to win one for the team." "Best family game night ever," said their dad. Kyle was enjoying this rare moment of glory, playing Santa Claus for his family. As the week dragged on, Friday night, and the library lock-in started to remind Kyle of Christmas. It felt like it would never come. Then finally, it did. I know I'm going to hear some groans, but I'm stopping there. Only 2 chapters right now. We'll have to wait to see what happens at the first night of the new library. You guys are in for lots of surprises. This is one of my absolute favorite books. And that's really hard for me to say because I love books. My kids in 311 will tell you that. So I'm actually going to stop right now and go read the book that I'm reading. Have a great day, guys. See you later.